Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Investing Bros. We had a green night last night. In case you guys are just waking up, haven't looked at some price charts, crypto was up. Technically this morning, we have a couple of red candles, but I would not be too concerned because we are definitely setting up some bullish momentum to continue to the upside. Big one of the day, though, Cardano. Are we going to potentially see Cardano rally up towards 70 cents? We talked about that a little bit before on the channel. But later on in the show, we're definitely going to be discussing that a little bit more. We'll also be talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then in the last half hour, make sure you guys are submitting your questions so we can cover your favorite TA as well. Also, we got special guest Drew Wolfer on the show today. It is going to be amazing. We'll be getting his take on not only what the market's doing, but also, in case you haven't heard of him or his amazing tool, PreSend, how PreSend could actually change the game for crypto adoption moving forward. You don't want to miss a single second of the show. I also have some special news. Amazing things happening here at the Investing Bros, but I'm going to have to make you wait till closer to that Q&A section to hear more about it. So do not go anywhere. Go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for your daily crypto and stock market updates. With that said, I'm not joined this morning by T-Shroom, but I have two other amazing co-hosts, starting with the man, the myth, the legend, Army Piper, all the way from Texas. How you doing, my man?
Brother, I'm doing fantastic. My ETH trade, my $2,200 target, still in the works, so I can't complain. And any day that I get to be with the bros is just a great day, man. Just a great day.
Is an absolutely fantastic day. We're also joined, and I think he's been on here before. Maybe one of the days I was missing, but Crux of Crypto is also joining us, filling in for T-Shroom. Going to be bringing us some news headlines a little bit later. How you doing this morning, Crux?
I'm doing great. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm here to bring you the spicy news for the day. And with these charts pumping, can't be nothing but excited.
Interesting. Someone's saying there's minor feedback on Tim's audio. I think Crux, is your microphone muted? I think when you're not talking, if you're muting yours, that might be better. Get that fixed right there.
Yeah,
there
if anyone's listening to the live stream while they're doing this, it's going to pick it up. You can't listen to the live stream and talk. So
Yeah. We gotta. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna keep going on, guys. We got a lot of special stuff happening on today's show. No quote of the day though from T-Shroom, and we didn't get a different quote in. I did ask a question though, and I want to hear what you guys think. Shout out to everyone in the audience who's part of the Cardano community. Where do you guys think ADA will be topping out over this year? Do we think that what we're currently seeing, maybe up to 50 cents, is it, and then we're heading down? Is it going to be somewhere between 50 cents and 60 cents, 60 cents to 70 cents, or are we potentially pushing up closer towards $1? At the moment, we must have a lot of Cardano bulls in chat, because 37% is the top predictor, saying 70 cents to $1 will be the top for Cardano in this year, 2023. I don't know if I'm quite in that boat yet. Maybe I am, because I think that potentially 71 cents might be a cool little place to look. But make sure you guys go ahead and go over there and vote. We got almost 80 people watching right now, but only 28 likes. So go ahead and go smash that four-fingered mitten. We're going to have an amazing show today. Let's go ahead and read some regular names here. We don't even have green names. Flashback here. We do have our first commenter of the day. It's back in a very common name we see here a lot. A Mellow Fellow was the first commenter, so his bot is definitely working this morning. He's not having any problems. He did fool Crypto JMP saying that he was first, but alas, Crypto JMP not there yet. But someday you're gonna get that one. Shout out to those guys who are first in the comment section. Other names we got going on here: Alton Henderson is here, Eric Wallen is here, Joe Nichols, CBD Suddy, Bobby Smoot, Mike Play, Eric Brubaker. Who else do we have? Gia S is here this morning. Elliot Locke is here. Crypto Trades is in the building. Who else do we got? We're going to read a couple more names, and we'll jump in. We got a long show today, so we want to make sure we get into our content here quickly. Patrick A is here, asking, is Mr. Wolfer going to be here? Absolutely, he is. I'm very excited to get him on here in just a couple of minutes. Al Bundles is here. Let's see, who else do we have? I gotta scroll a little bit more to find some newer names. Crypto Pew Pew Cruise is here. Uh, let's see, Joe Nickel. I think I read Joe Nickel. Redbeard.crypto is here. Ninja Glock. And we'll get two more, and then we will move on. Jojo and Mike Lowry. Shout out to all of you guys in the audience right now. We love each and every one of you. If I did not read your name, it's not because I don't love you. It's simply time to go ahead and move on into the show. Starting off, before we bring on Drew Wolfer, which is going to be amazing, I do want to make sure we cover our macroeconomic update. And then after that, we're going to have Drew on the show. We usually do TA right after this opening, but we're going to have our interview with Drew. It's going to be amazing stuff happening, and we'll shift and do some TA later on in the show, still cover some news, and then again, big announcements coming at the end of the show, so do not go anywhere. Piper, go ahead and take it away. What is some things we need to be looking at here with the next couple of weeks, months, maybe, with our macroeconomic outlook?
All right, brother. So taking a look here. First
You're
off,
muted.
let's start. I'm not muted. Everyone can hear me. Can you guys hear me? All right. I think
Maybe
you
it's
can.
just me?
I think it's just you, brother.
me.
So
All right,
yeah,
there you go.
looking here, we've got retail sales month over month came in this morning. We were previously at negative 2%. Consensus was that it was going to be down 0.4% to 0.9%. Was actually down a full percent on retail sales. I told you guys yesterday that if we had retail sales come in lower, that meant that demand was going down while we have supply coming up. That equates to lower inflation. So we've seen the lower inflation. I had a feeling this was actually going to beat these forecast numbers because of that, because this is what makes inflation, supply versus demand. So now demand seems to be coming down, and it looks pretty good there. So we also had some other minor stuff that came in this morning. Nothing that was going to be major impacts. All level 2s. We're looking at these big red blocks. Those are the level 3s, the big deals. Next week, we've got building permits to see how many buildings are being built. This includes houses and stuff like that. And then moving in through next week, we don't really have any major events. Our next major event is going to be for our actual numbers that come out in April. So, or in May, I mean. So yeah, we're just not a whole lot going on besides that retail sales this morning. Next week, going to be kind of quiet for us, Tim.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not necessarily too much this week. Going over to my screen here, looking at our CME futures tool, it's almost a sure thing. We still have 19 days. A lot can change, but 82% right now saying predicting that we're going to get 25 basis points. The good news is, however, that Bitcoin and crypto continues to rally, even with this being almost a confirmation at this point. We're going to get 25 basis point rate hike. In June, the expectation is we're going to pause. We're going to stay at that 5 to 5.25. And then July, it begins a little bit of a debate. Are we going to start cutting in July? That's not what Jerome Powell has said, but that is what the CME future predictors are making right now. So keep your eyes fixed on this. Right now, it does look like 25 basis points is in, but as we said previously on the show, I think this is actually a very bullish thing. I think it's really good that we're just predicting this high, because that way, this already prices in, when we're talking about Bitcoin rallies, crypto rallies, stock market rallies, they're pricing in another rate hike. So if something happens between now and the next 19 days that shifts Jerome Powell's mind and the Fed's mind to go ahead and pause now, that would only mean more upside. I don't think anyone thinks that he's going to go for a 50 basis point hike. So I'm actually really liking what I'm seeing on this chart. Normally, we go ahead and shift over into some technical analysis, but for today, we're going to go ahead and bring on Mr. Drew Wolfer. Go ahead and smash that like button if you guys are excited. Drew, can you hear me, and how are you doing today?
Yep, I can, man. I can hear you loud and clear. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I'm doing great. You know, I'm gonna use the platform to push a personal agenda, man. It's hashtag Friday Pie Day. Get it trending.
Hey.
We eat pie on Fridays, so you'll probably catch me at Lucali's tonight in Miami. So yeah, it's a beautiful day, and you know, I'm ready to spend a little bit of time with my beautiful family because we work so hard during the week. And yeah, just get some pizza, man. Hopefully, everybody else does too.
Wait, is a Pie Day? Is that a family event? Is that a company event? Is it something that I missed the boat on and we're all supposed to? Is it like a crypto thing that I'm just out of the loop on?
Dude, I think it could very easily be pivoted to a crypto thing. And the reason I say that is because of the Bitcoin pizza thing, right? But
Yeah.
it's just something I started. So I've been eating pizza on Fridays for like years, man. It's like my treat at the end of the week, and my family participates, and then obviously the Wolf Pack participates to a certain extent. The PreSend family participates to a certain extent, and we had a Wolfer Finance meetup, and they were here on a Friday, and you already know what we got that Friday was some pizza. So.
Oh man, that sounds awesome. You got to start like a new thing, like
I'm
LeBron James,
trying.
who tried. LeBron James tried to I don't know why he thought that he was going to get this, but it was Taco Tuesday. He tried to copyright it. I'm like, you can't do that, LeBron. But good try.
Yeah.
But now you're
Yeah.
going to see Drew Wolfer try to capitalize on Pete. What's the official name? Pie Friday.
Friday Pie Day.
Friday Pie Day. You heard it here, probably second, because he probably said it on one of his channels. But yeah, go get you guys self some pie on this Friday. That is awesome. First of all, before we get into when we talk about an amazing tool, PreSend, Drew, I want to get your take. I want to get your take on the market right now. I've gotten to be on a couple of shows now with you. We were on Around the Blockchain together here just a couple of weeks ago, and then this last Wednesday, you were on the TA Talks with myself and Piper. It is always good to talk with you, but I would love for our audience just to kind of get to pick your brain about what your thoughts about the market are. Obviously, we're in the green at the moment, but what do you see happening with the likes of maybe Bitcoin and altcoins? Are we going to see an altcoin season? Are we going to see just Bitcoin rally? Or are we hitting some local tops, in your opinion? And is the bottom in? Or what are your thoughts about the crypto market right now?
I mean, I'm starting to to a certain extent, I'm starting to change my tune, because I know whenever we were on Around the Blockchain, I was still saying, hey, 10 to 15K is still in play. Now, the thing is you brought up a very good, a very reasonable point, in my opinion, is that we haven't. So I said, hey, we haven't seen a market like this. And that's correct. So that doesn't mean that we're going up or down, right? It could be either way. And it's almost seeming now, which is proving me wrong, which is great for crypto and great for everybody that's investing in crypto. It's almost proving that Bitcoin and the crypto markets are becoming a hedge. It's wild, bro. So if that's the case, we're in for some good stuff in the future. I don't see us going into a bull run like just yet necessarily, because there's a lot of resistance in our way. You got like the 31K level, you've got the 38K level, you've got the 40 that's just a psychological level, period. Then there's a few resistances up there near 50, like the early 50s and stuff like that. So I want to answer the Cardano question really quick. I see Cardano kind of being in that like 50, I'd say like 55 to like 62 cent range or something like that, maybe 65 top. And the reason why I say that is because there's some serious resistance way back to like 2017. If you zoom way out on the chart, you'll see that first big spike. And then there's some resistances, at least in my opinion, right around the 60 cent range that are back in, I believe it was like August of 2022, right? So I kind of agree with your sentiments there. But with Bitcoin, dude, let's be real. All eyes on 31K. All eyes on 31K. We are literally... But historically speaking, whenever we go up near that and get rejected, and then we capitulate and kind of consolidate under that, it's usually a good sign to the upward, whatever the trend is, if it's going upward. So there's a chance that we could go past 31K.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely, I think so. I'm a big fan. Anytime you can smash through resistance, use it as support, it is a good thing. So I'm looking short-term bullish on Cardano. In the same camp as you, though. I know we talked about this before. I don't know if I'm ready for a bull market just yet. I'm very willing to change my mind on that. But there's just a couple things still in play that make me think that we're about to see a little bit of what I call a pre-bull market rally, followed by a big dip. We'll talk more about that for everybody else later on in the show. But speaking of, I love. First of all, I want to be a big shout out to you, because not enough influencers that are very intelligent, by the way. So you're not a dumb guy. Not enough amazing influencers admit when they're wrong and then say hey, I'm starting to change my mind. I'm starting to make, so even though there's still a lot that can happen there, kudos to you. And guys, make sure you guys are following Drew, because that right there is the sign of somebody you want to be listening to. You want to hear what their opinions are. If people just put their feet in concrete and refuse to change their mind when new data comes out, that's not someone you want to be following behind. So shout out to you for that. But I was going to say, speaking of, that concept that the market right now seems to be hedging against the economy by going into crypto. One of the things I think could help immensely with that is your company PreSend. So for anyone who does not know, has never heard of PreSend whatsoever, can you give us a quick rundown on what PreSend does and how you came up with this idea for a company?
Yeah, so I think the easy answer to how did we come up with the idea for this company is because we've all pretty much, most people, we won't say everyone, but most people in crypto have kind of paid their crypto tuition by accidentally losing some money on a cross-chain transaction, right? Whether you sent BNB to Coinbase Exchange, whether you sent USDC on Polygon to an ETH wallet, right? A lot of people have lost money accidentally, and it's kind of ridiculous that that's even a thing. So that's how we thought of the company. And then what we did is we created this company because we see this massive kind of lull and need in the market. And I've always been a builder. Instead of like necessarily like, if I want to be long-term on crypto, I'll probably just buy and hold, right? And that's fine with me. Like if I don't need to, put in $1,000 and get a 300x. By that time, you can buy and hold, right? If you just 300x, right? So I think I can just kind of hold. But I was like, how do I get exposure to the crypto markets without being exposed necessarily just to only crypto? And the easiest way for me, I thought, was creating businesses, because I've created businesses in the real world, everywhere else. So what we did was we created this solution, which is a software. It's fully patent pending, right? We've already filed our full patent in the United States, and it is provisionally patented worldwide. So shout out to Troutman, which is our lawyers, for getting that done, because they made it bulletproof, and we appreciate that. But then what we've done is we've developed a technology that basically stops all of these cross-chain transactions. It runs real checks to make sure that the coin, or first off, that the wallets that you're sending from and to are compatible with each other, and then that the blockchain you're sending on is compatible with that recipient wallet and platform. We take it even a step further, because just because, maybe let me give you an example, I guess, BNB, BSC chain, right? It's technically, some coins are accepted on Coinbase Exchange potentially, right? But that doesn't mean that USDC is accepted on Binance Smart Chain. So we take it even a step further, and we check to make sure that that asset on that chain is accepted into those wallets. Then we make sure that the coins are compatible and that the blockchain is compatible with the coin that you're sending, and boom. And these are real checks. This isn't a simulation transaction. We're not doing it on testnet. This is real. Connect your wallet, read-only access. We take zero custody of your funds, run these checks, and basically give you a real answer that says, yes, that's going through, baby, or no, do not send that, my friend. And we will stop you from sending it by not prompting that transaction inside of the wallet that you have connected, right? Because that's all we can do is prompt the transactions. We cannot send them for you, and we have absolutely zero ambition to take custody of anyone's funds.
Yeah, in chat, everyone right now, if you have either gone through with or almost click send to a wrong wallet, put a 1 in chat right now. This is something that I think is one of the scariest things that anyone who holds crypto and has to send it different places freaks out about. I was talking to Drew the other day about my story of every time I send crypto, I do that little $5, $10 send first just to make it work. But it's crazy because even after you do that, you know it works. You're typing in the exact same wallet, and then you send that large chunk, and you're still freaking out. You're like paranoid that everything is going to go wrong. One of the reasons why I think PreSend, again, what we were just talking about, is going to take over is how many people is that a barrier? How many people maybe have dabbled in crypto? Something went wrong, and then they just blame crypto. I mean, obviously it was their mistake, but they just blame crypto and say this isn't a secure way to have money. Obviously, the whole purpose of cryptocurrency is so that all of us, can be our own banks, but some of us are not very good bankers. A tool like this could absolutely change the game on getting millions of people comfortable with holding and exchanging cryptocurrency. So if anyone was wondering what the purpose is, like, that is going to be massive. I did see someone ask in chat, Drew, and also, by the way, guys, I'm going to keep my eyes on chat. If you guys have questions, I want you guys to ask as well. I'm going to relay them. What does this cost to use? I think you touched on it a little bit, but specifically, maybe even use some examples. What is the way that you guys make money, and what should people expect if they were to use PreSend, their fees should look like?
Yeah, so it's very inexpensive. It's similar to a gas fee, and it's probably the least expensive technical, like almost insurance policy you'll ever have, right? It's 0.2% on anything that's over $500. So say you send $1,000, it'll cost you $2 to protect that, right? And then it's $1 guaranteed up to $500. And that's just so that everybody doesn't come in and only send their test transaction with PreSend and pay like 2 cents to us. And then we've developed this technology that cost, we'll just say, a lot of money to develop. And we make no money off of it because basically everybody comes in and does their test transactions. But this actually nullifies test transactions, which is good. So you don't have to really do those test transactions because PreSend's already running all of those checks for you. It's actually a pretty beautiful and very seamless process.
Yeah, and that's ultimately. I see people in chat saying, I think CVD study said, yeah, it only takes an extra minute. I do that every time. The extra cost. Patrick A saying PreSend is a great safety net. This is my thing, guys. I'll tell you right now. PreSend is a godsend because even with that extra chat, even with that looking through everything, things can go wrong. Computers can glitch. Things can go wrong, and PreSend is definitely there to save the day every single time. By the way, shout out to Crypto Vet in chat. Good friend of mine. I gotta get Crypto Vet on the show here soon. Sorry, Vet. I've been slacking, man. I gotta get you on here. Let's see here. A lot of people typing in ones. Piper, I want you to type in as well. What are some other great questions here we can ask Drew while we have him here? He is great at just. Oh, Kelly Kellum's in chat too. What's going on, man? Piper, what are your thoughts? What are your questions for Drew?
So one thing so I had him on the show yesterday on Chart Prime. We did a whole promo that I'm going to be dropping this Sunday, and one of the things that I asked him was, we did an example because he actually had me move money from my ledger to my MetaMask, and we had to set up my MetaMask for this. But once I got it all set up and everything, it was just a few dollars, but it was a good example of what could happen. So one of the things that people may not understand is that if you tried to send BNB to Coinbase and you didn't know that Coinbase doesn't take BNB, which I never really even thought about it. It makes sense, but I never thought about you can't get BNB on Coinbase, right? It will actually stop that too, even though if you do the send, because on my test send, I lost, what was it, like $3.50 worth of BNB or something like that.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. He wanted me to feel what it would feel like if you lose the money and then what PreSend does for it. So it was pretty good. But yeah, when I sent it, the blockchain transaction showed it as successful, Tim. Even though, it said success. And I was like, man, you would be scratching your head and banging your, beating on stuff. Like, where is my money? It said it was successful. So yeah, PreSend absolutely stopped that. So I just wanted people to know that because that was one of the things that I learned from my one-on-one with him yesterday. So.
Yeah, and this is really important for offboarding too, right? This is the biggest thing. This is one of the hugest, I guess, proponents of PreSend, at least in my opinion, is offboarding your capital, right? If you want to take your, gains and then bring it into fiat, into, the real world currency, because let's be real, you can't pay a lot of stuff. Like you can't pay your house off in crypto majority of the time to a bank, right? So it's like, if you want to offboard your capital, we're already compatible sending your pre-sending your funds to and protecting that to Coinbase, Binance.com, Binance.us, KuCoin, and then also Crypto.com. So 5 of the largest exchanges in the world, and we will have the top 20. I almost guarantee you within the next 2 months. And then we're compatible connecting to MetaMask, and we've already submitted for Chrome extensions, Mozilla Firefox extensions, Microsoft Edge, and I believe Opera. And it will be compatible, I believe, by the end of this weekend, sending to MetaMask, Opera Wallet, Coinbase Wallet, Ledger, Crypto.com, and Trust Wallet. And then you'll also be able to connect to all of those wallets and all the other Wallet Connect options. Dude, we're about to take over the game, and hopefully where I see PreSend going is going to be partnerships, right? So getting into saying, hey, Coinbase, we are compatible, protecting people going into your exchange, right? Why don't you protect your users coming out of your exchange too? Because if somebody loses money coming out of Coinbase, it's not necessarily Coinbase's fault, but if there's a solution now that they can stop it from happening, it's kind of a no-brainer. Why would you not do
Mhm.
that? Because you don't want that asterisk by your name. Like, I lost $1,000 coming out of Coinbase. Maybe I'm not going to use Coinbase anymore, right? So, yeah.
Yep. Also, we do have a couple of questions coming in. Eric
Yeah.
Brubaker said, "Can you put a link for PreSend in the description?" There's one down there.
There is one down there. Yeah,
Yep,
right
there
now.
is one down there. So go down to find that. It is
Click the ambassador link.
Yep, the ambassador link. That's right. And then so that's down there. And then Rick Wilson was asking about, is it going to plug into Lace Wallet?
Yeah.
I would assume it probably will eventually. I honestly don't know if that's in Wallet Connect right now because there's like 30 to 40 options. It could be in there, but don't come and stab me if it's not because I'm not 100% sure.
And I'm going to test my own personal knowledge here. He also asked, does it work for inputting the wrong network? And I believe the answer to that is yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, if you are sending, like, say you're sending, I guess a very good example would be you're sending USDC, right, to Coinbase. And Coinbase only accepts USDC on certain networks. And you try to send it on a network that is not accepted and you input it, then it will absolutely stop that. So we could actually show you kind of the process, and you can see it on the Chart Prime channel as well, where we actually run through everything and kind of show you the interface. It's very seamless. If you can use any wallet in the world, you can use PreSend. It literally has a tutorial without having a tutorial. So yes, it definitely stops stuff like that.
Yeah, we did a full from start to finish. It's about a 27-minute video, and I did some great ones that went through, and PreSend said no, and then I did some without PreSend, and it said yeah, you lost your money. So
Yeah.
Drew, I'm never letting you off the hook for that. I think I spent about as much yesterday as a drink. So in Austin,
there goes his coffee.
In Austin,
it's over.
In Austin, you're going to owe me that drink back.
Z Canceling Radio said, Drew, will it also catch send to contract address versus wallet address? Have made that error in my earlier days.
Yeah. So there's actually two things that we're trying to build out right now. And one of the co-hosts on here brought up one of them, and I've talked to my dev about it, and he's like, yeah, that's pretty simple that we can do. Now, we are trying to build out contract addresses, okay? Here's the issue with contract addresses. They are still blockchain addresses, right? But it should be able to be functional, stopping you from sending to a contract address. You just might be confused as to why. Because until we get prompts inside of PreSend that says like, hey, you can't send this transaction because you're trying to send to a contract address, you're probably going to be like, but PreSend, why can't I send this? I know USDC goes on ETH to Coinbase, but then once you recheck your address, you'll be like, oh, it's a contract. So right now, is it doing that? I don't believe so. It's in development right now. And so is sending to your own address that you're sending from, because that's what happened to Crux. His dad basically sent his money to his own address. So whatever the initiator wallet is, if you're sending to the recipient wallet and it's the same address, PreSend should stop that from happening very soon. That was just kind of like an edge case that we didn't really think of. And I appreciate him bringing it up because it's going to help us, really fill out the software. Absolutely. So both of those things are in development right now.
Absolutely. Well, this is awesome. Again, you guys can definitely check out in the description down below if you are interested in this project. I did want to, before we let you go, Drew, I got two hard-hitting questions for you, changing subjects now. First of all, we need your advice, and I want you to help our entire audience make the choice on this. If someone were to be looking to buy one of these two products, which do you suggest? Xbox or PlayStation?
Every time. Oh, man, you guys are putting me on the spot. So I would probably say Xbox. I did a flip of a coin the other day, and it landed on Xbox, and it was over on Debate Crypto's channel, and he hated me for it.
Yeah, I've noticed. Literally every time I've seen that, everyone always asks you about your background, and you're trying to be a peacemaker, is what it is. You don't want to cause too much. Both the great products, but more seriously, let's before I let you go, Crypto. What are projects you're looking at right now that you're excited about? And they can be the big ones. Obviously, you can say Bitcoin and Ethereum, but even going down smaller, do you have any small cap, mid cap altcoins that you're excited about right now? And again, this isn't financial advice. Just we want to hear what you're looking at as you are deep into all of this crypto, and you're always doing your own evaluation for what you want to invest in.
Yeah, definitely. So let me pull it up. I have a list of, it's called coins to buy right here. This is what I would be buying. So I'm going to slam through it, man. We've got ETH, we've got BNB, we've got Matic, we've got AVAX, VeChain, DAG, Flux, Chronos, Solana, potentially. Solana's like a maybe because their chain always goes down. It's being weird. QNT, XRP, Doge, because it's just a fad, DOT, FTM, Litecoin, Tron, Link, Atom, Near, Cardano, XMR, XLM, HBAR, Algo, IOTA, XDC, Rune, and then I have currency coins as Uniswap, KCS, and OKB, because I like those currency coins that are on exchanges, because they're almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? They tend to go up as long as those exchanges are doing well. So those are kind of like my 30 coins that I'm like, hey, I will get in on these. And then I also like Cosmos, which is Atom. And then there was one other that I think I left out, but I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, that's a good list, though. That's a very good list right there of altcoins.
Thorough.
Drew, thank you so much, man, for coming on today and letting us know more about your product and hearing your ideas on the market. We'll have to get you on again very, very soon.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for everybody for showing up as well.
Yeah, everyone make sure you go follow him on Twitter, follow him on his YouTube channels. Again, great guy, Drew. He came up with an amazing product. I can't stress this enough, guys. When I first heard about PreSend, that I was like, this is going to be a game changer for crypto, because it literally could help solve millions of people's problems that are keeping them out of crypto. And that is, what is the security? What if I lose a bunch of money because I don't type in the right things? There's a lot of people out there that stay out of crypto for that reason. PreSend is definitely doing it. We're thankful for Drew for not only building that company, but coming on here. We're about to transition, guys, now into our technical analysis. For anyone who joined saying, oh, okay, that was different. They're usually doing technical analysis at a time. A little bit different of a flow today, but we still got you. Make sure, again, if you're interested in PreSend, go to the link down below, click on it. You do not want to miss out. If you're one of the people that freaks out about sending transactions of crypto, that's the product just for you. Let's go ahead, Piper. We're going to be talking about Cardano today, but let's start off with Bitcoin just for a little bit and kind of update what's happening here. As I said last night, Bitcoin did make a little bit of a pump. We are starting to rally to the upside. You guys can see we actually went ahead and touched 31,000 last night. This is really big. Of course, we're a little bit down right now. If I were to come down to the hourly chart, we did have some red candles this morning. But I want to point out to anybody who is sitting there watching this, we're still holding. We're setting higher lows this whole time. Let me just kind of draw this trend line for you guys right here. We kind of came down and just touched that just perfectly. Nothing necessarily to freak out about. I want to pull up smart money concepts for you guys right here. Down the hourly chart, we are now kind of using this upper gold band as support. We're rallying up here. Didn't quite get up to the extremely high level, around 31,100, but it's only a matter of time there on the hourly chart. Going out to the daily chart, let's see what we're doing with our predictive ranges here on Bitcoin. We're now above, same thing here. We are above the red line right here. I can't remember what, Piper, you can tune in and tell me what that one's called. I always forget what the red one's called, but we're definitely above
upper resistance band.
Okay, we're just gonna call it upper resistance band. There we go. The purple band. So I've been talking about this for a couple of days. I think that Bitcoin is rallying up towards 36,000. It's gonna hesitate and then it's gonna keep climbing up. But one of the reasons why is we're definitely looking at, we have our upper purple band, upper resistance band sitting here at 35,000. Of course, the other day, if you guys were watching, you guys have been following along with the TA we're doing here. If I were to just pull over this entire bear market and then now our little rally, a lot of our volume, we have another gap coming in up here that does not really start picking up volume until about 35,900, 36,000. So watch as we get on the daily chart, start approaching that purple band, and then maybe hesitate for a little bit of time before breaking through and going to the upside. I want to bring to attention another thing that we talked about the other day, and that is going down to the 12 hourly chart. I can go ahead and get rid of. Is that going to give me problems? No, I think we're good. This is a major bullish sign. I put this in Discord, talked about this yesterday because we hadn't necessarily broken it yet. But this signal right here on the oscillator for Chart Prime that gave us an overbought and red triangle signifying or signaling that we should be reversing to the downside. After 2 red candles, we are now pumping back up. And I told you guys, this to me would be massive confirmation of a bull trend because we are ignoring these bearish indicators. All this is signaling is mathematically, when you look at Bitcoin over the last year, we're overbought right now. We are higher than we really should be, which signals that the bulls have taken control. And I'm going to very, very heavily expect over the next couple of weeks, watch what I would just call a lot of eye candy. This candy pop up on the top of this oscillator, telling us we're overbought, telling us we have bearish divergences. But it's just that it's eye candy. If I were to show you, let's go back over here to the bear market and just look at this oscillator tool right here and look at what I call eye candy. Let's see. Let me kind of straighten this out for you guys so you can see it. Look at all of these flashes down here. All of these oversold, reverse up. A couple of them had a little bit of a good call. For example, this one definitely played out. But I guarantee you guys, every single one of the overboughts during a bear market, every single overbought was a killer call. They confirmed that the bears had control. So when things did flash overbought, because we were in a bear market, those were great calls. But because we were in a bear market, all the bullish calls, that is really hard to trust. Well, the same thing is true in bull markets. Going back over here to 2021, look at all the eye candy up here, all the overboughts that just didn't really mean anything. There was one right in here that had a good call. And obviously, when we got to the top, that was a good call. But also then go look at all of the bullish signals, all the oversold, the green triangles. These were phenomenal indicators telling you when to get in. What's my point here? Now that we are starting to confirm and ignore the bearish indicators on this oscillator, watch for amazing buying opportunities, trading opportunities to pop up every single time. Not when we get an overbought and a reversal to the downside, but when we get green triangles and oversold and we get bullish divergences, they will be easy pick'ems for longing positions because we are moving more into a bullish trend. Again, is it a bull market full on just yet? I'm not ready to call it that. I still believe we're coming up closer towards 48, 50,000 before reversing back down. But for the next couple of weeks, it is a bull trend. Take advantage of it while you can. Piper, before we jump into Cardano, because I do want to do some Cardano TA today, I would love for you to kind of give us an update on Ethereum. You also were calling for these levels just a little bit. People thought you were being crazy. Give us a little update on what's happening with Ethereum and some of the longs that you're in right now over there.
All right, brother. So, yeah, currently right now, I am in an Ethereum long. I put this out on my video last week with my fib strategy over on Chart Prime. And, yeah, some people thought that my call for Ethereum's run-up on that trade were crazy. But there's even some comments on the video of, like, was this a football thing here? A nice commercial. And I responded back about, yeah, thanks. That commercial had some nice profit, and this winning gain was brought to you by Chart Prime. So, so looking at the fib strat here, and I actually was trying to replace it, re-put it back on here because I don't remember exactly where we were at when I said it, but the one that I found definitively that fits my pattern. So how this works is these are special fib levels that I use, and they're all in that video. So, go over there and look for my face on a fib strategy video. You'll find it. But anytime you have a low to a high run up like this, and it does a sharp pullback, well, then you go from that low to that high, and you put on these fibs. And if it gets its bounce at the golden pocket, let's mind you, it came back through here, but came back in all the way through here, you're going to put an entry. And it could be either here or here, whatever you want to do, but you're going to put your entry on this 382 fib line here. And what it does is it gives you a take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3. At the time of the video, I believe we were right. No, we hadn't even hit this top band yet. We'd only hit 2 of the take profits when I put out the video. And I told them that my ultimate target was going to be up here on the negative 618, which actually comes in at 2133 on here. How I had it set up on the other one, I'm not exactly sure which ones it was. It might have been this one here. But anyway, that one said 22. But what I found ironic about this one is that we literally wicked up to that negative 1.618 overnight. So Yeah, good trade. So that's what I'm looking at there. But let's go ahead and pull this one off, and I want to show you guys some other stuff. Here's our fib retracements. As you guys know, we had been running extremely hard on resistance underneath this 887, which is going to be the top of your platinum pocket here. I talk about my fibs all the time, and especially when they correlate so beautifully with what I'm looking at on the Smart Money Concepts bundle. So you can see here we got a nice bounce. Trade bands normally, guys, these gold trade bands right here is where we normally get all of our price action in our predictive ranges. And if I go ahead and take this off here, you'll see it right there. Beautiful bounce on our gold pocket coming up. We got into here, broke right through the delta, no problem, which had been previous resistance for us. Front ran right there, front ran right there. Now we have broken up, and now it looks like we could be coming back to test our upper trade band. When we see this start to happen, guys, like right here, we go into a new range. I just think that this might be setting us up for even higher run. And now I'm looking at 2,300 might be the target on some of these run-ups. So I'm going to be holding my long trade for a bit here still. I am not afraid to do that. It's well in profit. It's, geez, the last time I looked, it was like $5,300 this morning that I'm up on that trade. So beautiful, beautiful trade. So the last thing that I want to show you here, and I want to go to another chart. This is my actual trade chart over here. Let me pull that up if I can find it. There it is. Bam. All right. Looking on here, you can see here that we've got our rejection. Oh yeah, there it is right there again too. So you can see that we're right now looking at, where is my Oracle? Tim, pull up your Oracle. I got to add my Oracle back on. It looks like I did something.
Accidentally deleted it.
I accidentally deleted it. So go ahead and pull up the Oracle on yours.
Yeah. What are we looking on the Oracle? I don't know if you're talking.
Yeah, just where we are on the daily and on the weekly with the market Oracle with the dynamic reactor. If you look at the weekly, we are sitting well above on Ethereum on the dynamic reactor. So.
Yeah, it's loading for me. Sometimes it takes a second to load. Come on now. Why is it taking so long? Let's see. We'll go to a different chart, see if it loads a little faster. There we go. Yeah, breaking through green on the weekly. Do we do the same thing for Bitcoin? I didn't check this. I know T-Shroom checks it more often than I do.
Bitcoin is not quite there yet.
It's working on it, I think, if it loads. Oh, it does not want to do it on that chart for some reason. But yeah, I'll have to look at that later. But yeah, Ethereum breaking through the weekly dynamic reactor. That's a massive sign. Daily. We've been above it a while here on the daily. Also, again, with Ethereum, before we transition here, to keep an eye on, I don't even know if we're going to pull back necessarily, but remember how we've been talking about on Bitcoin, guys, the concept of this megaphone pattern that we broke above, came back down, back tested several times, and now we're starting to pull away. Well, guess what? Ethereum is doing the exact same thing, only it's just breaking through with lots and lots and lots of confidence. I don't know if we're going to get a back test on Ethereum. Even though it doesn't look massive, the fact that we did have a uptick in volume when that happened, that's an indication sometimes that a back test does not need to happen. A lot of times back tests happen when you break a level of resistance or support and the volume wasn't necessarily that high. That means that price needs to come back down close to those levels just to confirm. When you see an uptick in volume, let me show you, if we were to go on the hourly chart, look at the high amount of volume that came in as we're breaking resistance levels. That's a great sign that we might not on Ethereum have to come back and back test. But let's go ahead and transition here. We're going to get a little bit more here in TA, and then we're going to transition, maybe look at stocks for just a second with Piper, and then we'll transition into our stories. But with Cardano, this is the big question we have going on right now. Let me go out to the daily chart. Man, Cardano holders, has it been a journey? Has it been hard? Cardano is one of the most developed, the most amazing platforms out there. What they are building with their team is phenomenal, and it is going to have a massive place in the future of cryptocurrency. However, when it comes to price, Cardano price has been very underwhelming. Like, it has just been very hard to be a Cardano holder because it's like we know that the product is worth so much more than what it is right now. It's just not getting there. But could the gates be being released here for Cardano? And I want to start by clarifying, just so you guys know, I'm not necessarily thinking that Cardano is about to outpace Bitcoin or Ethereum. I think that it's going to kind of stay with them. But let's take a look at a couple of things here. First, on the smaller time frame, do watch right now as Cardano is wrestling with a rising level of resistance in a little bit of a trading channel. Now, this might not be as much of a trading channel as I thought, because we really haven't gotten 3 strong touches on the lower band. So is Cardano just going to go ahead and take off? We'll have to continue to watch, but keep an eye on this rising level of resistance. We were able to slightly wick through it, but not closing above it means that's still going to be a significant spot to watch. However, something that is very important to keep an eye on is that Cardano last night set the highest point that we have seen for Cardano in the year 2023. If we were to go back over here to, oh, that's October, sorry. If I were to go back over here to February of 2023, we only peaked out at 42.15 cents. We have peaked this morning at 44 cents, 0.39. This is, of course, even higher. This is why I was going back to these levels, to the peaks that we had back in November. And this is important, guys. This is very important because remember, the same way we talked about Bitcoin finally setting higher highs after a very grueling bear market, the fact that Ethereum was finally getting back and we're now beating out the top that we had back here in August. Ethereum starting to set higher highs. It's good to see Cardano doing the exact same. Now, to beat out the August high, that is the one that I really want to see happen. That high is all the way up here at 59, give it 60 cents. And that could very easily become a place of resistance to keep your eyes on. But why do we think potentially 70 cents, or maybe we can go with 71 cents, is an interesting place to watch? Let me kind of start by backing up for just a second, and I'm reminding you guys a lot of things that I've been talking about for a while. I do believe that Bitcoin is going to have a little bit of a rally similar to what we saw in 2019. I think at this point, from where we currently are, we could see Bitcoin continue to climb up towards 48, 50,000, back to the golden pocket, and we could still see a 55, 56% rally on Bitcoin. If you were to go back all the way to where we stopped right here back in March, this rally on Bitcoin could be as much as, what would this put us at? 142%. Massively, massively bullish. The problem is, this doesn't mean altcoins can't rally as well, but in bull markets, altcoins outpace them. I want to kind of level expectation. In a bull market, if Bitcoin was going back to 50,000 from where it was in a bull market, Cardano, more than likely, we're talking about going over $1. But because this is more of a pre-bull market rally, let's kind of just say Cardano, it would be bullish just to match or lag slightly behind Bitcoin. What would that mean? Guess what? That's going to put us, if we went to 144, that's going to put us somewhere right here. Let me get back to it. Oh, right there, right around, right above 70 cents. That's what I'm expecting to happen. We saw something like that happen back in 2019 where Bitcoin led the market. The Bitcoin dominance flowed, but altcoins, they still went up. They just could not outpace Bitcoin. Well, there's another thing that I'm looking at here on the charts to confirm that 70 cents, that area is a very good target to watch, and that is using our fixed range volume profile. Let's go and use the entire timeline of this bear market, going back to highs. I can back up just a little bit more. Highs that we had back here in September of 2021. Let's take a look at what is happening right here. We are still struggling right below a massive peak here at 46 cents. So 46 cents is definitely one to keep your eyes on. But if momentum is flowing back in the crypto space, we talked about this with Drew a little earlier, as the economy and the US dollar continues to struggle, it does look like people are looking at cryptocurrency as a place to hedge. And altcoins like Cardano are definitely one that are up there that people will be flowing into. If we're able to climb above 46 with confidence, watch as this peak just keeps getting lower and easier and easier and easier until we get this nice little gap down here at 71 cents. We talked about this before, that sometimes the two hardest places to break through are peaks. So we had a peak right here at 46 cents, and valleys, where a mountain is coming down right here, and then we start a new mountain. Sometimes price likes to sit right there in that little dip in the valley. And if we can push through, maybe we rally up all the way towards 74, 75 cents before a rejection comes. But watch Cardano, if we break above 46, and then let's just go to the psychological level, 50 cents. I don't see it being that hard for Cardano bulls to push all the way to this valley right here, sitting at around 71 cents here within the next couple of weeks. And again, this would make a lot of sense with the scenario we've talked about, where Bitcoin, it rallies close to this level since its low that it had back here on March 8th. We see Bitcoin rally 144% from there. Cardano kind of matches close to it, staying a little bit behind. Ethereum stays close to it, getting somewhere between 3,000 and 3,600. I think that it is very reasonable and kind of matches what we've been talking about for a while on this channel, that Cardano gets above 46 cents and starts to make a run. It can get explosive very fast. But again, do not be fooled. I want to make sure people understand this. When you get to 70 cents, if we get to 70 cents, guys, the feeling and the market is going to be screaming, bull market's back on, Cardano to $1, yada, yada, yada. And I do not believe at this time it's ready for that level of maturity. I don't think that Cardano is ready to take off. I'm still expecting something in traditional finance. Like right now, while everything is going wrong for the banks, everything's going wrong for the dollar, everything's going wrong for people who hate crypto, there will be something that happens later this summer, whether it's in May or June or July. We're going to see FUD spread the market and watch coins like Cardano and Ethereum having hit levels we have not hit in a long time, with a lot of people FOMOing in. There's going to be a real test of your ability to emotionally disconnect and take some profit and wait for a pullback. Again, I would believe when it comes to Cardano, do not be surprised if we hit 70 cents, 75 cents, somewhere in that region, and then fall all the way back down here towards 30, 35 cents. That is definitely something that is very doable for Cardano. Let me know in chat what you guys are thinking. Last thing I want to bring to your attention, and we will transition here. The Dixie is climbing technically this morning, but the Dixie last night, I put this on Twitter, it hit a new low for 2022, coming down all the way to $100.37. Yes, we have a little bit of a green candle, but that's just how the markets move. It is setting lower lows and lower highs. This is continuing to kind of back up our scenario we put on this channel, that we're going to be seeing a climb here in crypto, followed by a harsh crash. The Dixie is kind of keeping us in tune with just that. That's all the technical analysis on cryptocurrency we have for you guys today, though. Piper, this might be really short, might be really long. I don't know. Are you seeing anything this morning in the stock world that we should address?
I am, Tim. First, let me jump over here and I'll show you guys the heat map going on here. Today, Apple up 0.4%, Amazon up 0.5%. Tesla right now, though, currently down 0.3%. It's the only red one really on the day for the big companies. Nvidia up a full 1.1%. But the big winners today, guys, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, that is because their earnings reports came out this morning. So they are doing really good. And let's go ahead and jump over to the charts and take a look and see what we're seeing with JP Morgan and with the Bank of America here. So let's throw on Bank of America here. Yeah, you can see there, open this morning. Let's put this on like a 30 minutes so we can see exactly what we got going on here. So this morning we had broken out of this pattern here on the chart pattern. It's actually given us a breakup target of $30 on 30 points. On this Bank of America stock. But right now, if you take a look at what we have going on here, we looked this morning. Let me go ahead and shut off chart patterns. There we go. We had a nice bounce on our delta line. We did get a breakup above the dynamic reactor back on 11 April. Gave us a little reversal down, found that support down here. Obviously, front ran, came up, rejected off the upper trade band, and then bounced cleanly with multiple support retest on that delta median. This morning on that earnings reports release, a shoot up, currently pulling back right now to the 50% mark. Not surprising to see a lot of stocks when they have these big candles, will either pull back on that candle to the 50% mark, or if it had closed up here, the next candle would retest to the 50% mark. That happens quite often with stocks. So that's what we're seeing for Bank of America. Let me go and pull up JP Morgan, show you this big beast today, because it's really doing well. Opening up, let's see here, how many percentage up here from where it was at. Yeah, 4.9. So yeah, it's running 7.5 on the heat map. That was a 4.9% move on the chart to its open. Currently up at that 7.5 there. If we take a look at what we have here, this is actually going to be printing a new predictive range here very soon. Let's go to the 4 hour. See, yeah, even on the 4 hour, going to be creating a new predictive range. So looking pretty strong there. One last thing that I do want to pull up is look at the futures here, because I pay for these minis futures and stuff, and I never get to use them. So I'm gonna go pull them up. Yeah, I pay for them every month. That's I don't know why I never use them. I should be trading more futures, I think. Taking a look here, you can see that on the Dow Jones minis here, futures, we are getting support right now on the upper trade band of this. Look for us to continue up on this path, because if you go ahead and you throw a trend line on here, you can see that we were running right here and it just took off, like just jumped, didn't said, I'm not even going to go back and retest. This is a very bullish pattern when you see it break away from a trend line like this. Could it come back to test this trend line? Absolutely. But it could be way out here when this trend line's, you know, I'm not a great artist. I'm a better trader than an artist, but it really could be all the way back there as this trend line continues up, that it ever goes back and retests that price action declination there. You know, it's what happens here is people think that there's a support line here. And so they buy in on the support line. Then the next people buy in a little higher because they want to get in because they missed it here, and so they just keep front running until all of a sudden everyone feels bullish and it just big run up, right? So I am seeing that 34,458 would be our next target. Looking here on 8 cap right now for the Dow Jones. Let's go check the ES1. It's going to be our S&P 500 here. Yep, still extremely bullish, and you can see we had pretty much what we're seeing across the board. Lots of retest on either the trade bands or these deltas as we come up. We do have a trend line hitting right here that has been a little resistance once we broke through it here. So let's see if we can get back into here and keep it going. We are getting a little bit of a downtrend on the 4-hour here call, but I've seen these pinch off and then just come back up, especially in crypto. When it's bullish, it's bullish. You can't negotiate with the charts. That fundamental analysis is the thing, right? And lastly, let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ kind of running on a grind right now. Definitely retesting all of its upper resistance band here that's now support, but it has yet to come up here and hit that 13,292, which I do think is what it's going to go try to target now that it is keeping this as support. We had it back here. It tried to get up there. Let's say 13,206 is going to be a retest, and if it can get through that, then I'd be looking at the 13,295 to 13,300, Tim.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, well, time is getting away from us. Great show today. Make sure you guys go ahead and smash that like button. We're going to transition now into some news talks. We're going to skip right on through promos. I will say in a promo section, make sure you guys stay tuned. We're about to jump into Q&A here in just a second. I got a big juicy piece of news for the investing bros that is going to be amazing. You don't want to miss it, but you're going to hear more about that on the other side of the news. We are joined today, filling in for T-Shroom, by Crux of Crypto, an amazing researcher filling in. Thank you so much, Crux. What do you have for us? I think you have a couple of stories that people need to be aware of this morning. You're muted. Is that better?
You there? Nope, can't hear you.
Nope, still muted. And this time it was.
There we go.
Earlier it was me.
There you go. He's good. Crux, get in here. Get in here. Put your screen back up. All right. So yeah, he's getting his news up. Yeah, he's still up. He's getting his news up right now. And as soon as I see it pop on the screen, we'll pop over here. Tim, go ahead and start with some of your news. You can give him a little tease.
Well, I don't know what I tease without giving too much away. I guess the best way to put it in if anyone was afraid of this, because some people in our Discord, we announced this yesterday, were afraid that what my news was going to be is that I'm leaving Investing Bros. And I'm here to let you guys know that is not what is happening. It is going to be amazing. I am not leaving the Investing Bros. This show is just going to get bigger, better, and greater. But I'm gonna wait for the actual news after the news section. Do we got Crux back in yet? If not, we could kind of go ahead and transition. Oh, there we go. Perfect, Crux. There we go.
All right, Piper, can you share my screen? Piper.
Uh-oh.
Maybe I don't think we lost Piper, did we?
Well, I don't think you can lose Piper because Piper's running this whole shindig, but maybe he had to step away for just a second.
Okay, maybe I'll just do some radio FA, as you call it, right?
I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
I'm a little confused as to what's happening right now, but it's okay. Guys, this is a part of the Investing Bros for sure. You know what? What we'll do here. Oh, there he goes. There's Piper. And you're muted.
You're muted, Piper.
This is fun.
Go to the news. You're good.
There we go.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna quickly cover this news. We don't have too much time. So, Arizona governor vetoes bill banning local taxes fees on crypto mining. So, Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs vetoed legislation that aims to prevent local governments from taxing crypto mining operations in a letter published on April 12th. Hobbs' letter indicates that she vetoed a bill designated SB 1236. That bill aims to ensure that taxes and fees imposed on blockchain mining node operators are a statewide concern and not a matter that can be decided at a city, town, or county levels. Meanwhile, states including Montana, Arkansas, and Mississippi have taken steps towards ensuring that discriminatory laws against mining are eliminated entirely. So, if you know, I actually mine a little bit of crypto myself. So, speaking from a personal experience, the way that crypto mining is taxed is it's considered ordinary income, which is completely different than capital gains, as if you're to buy and sell your crypto, right? So, in this sense, if I was to mine, let's just say one Bitcoin today at $30,000, and it goes down sometime this year, let's say to $10,000, knock on wood, it doesn't. That means I still owe that 30% tax. It could be up to 36, 38% federally on that $30,000 Bitcoin, which means the Bitcoin that I sold at $10,000 to be able to pay the taxes for this Bitcoin that I mined previously, 100% of that Bitcoin goes straight to the tax, which is why I'm against the way that cryptocurrency mining is taxed today. But Army Piper or Tim, do you guys have anything to address as far as this, or you want me to move on to the next article?
No, I think that is good. Yeah, we'll move on to the next one, and we might chime more on this in another day.
Okay, so the BNB chain executes a hard fork upgrade. Here's everything you need to know. So the BNB Smart Chain performed the Planck hard fork on 12th of April, intended to improve the security and stability of the Layer 1 network. Through a tweet, Binance confirmed that the completion of the upgrade and announced the resumption of deposits and withdrawals of the chain, which were halted temporarily. So 2 days ago, Binance halted its chain for about 30 minutes, pushed these upgrades, and then this is essentially what the upgrade did. So as part of the security enhancements, the cross-chain bridge between the beacon chain and the smart chain will be made stronger by introducing several features. They include enabling validators to pause cross-chain channels, automatic pausing in the case of forge-proof protection, and applying a timer lock for large cross-chain transfers. The upgrade comes at a time when BNB Chain was making headlines for an increase in cross-bridge hacks, right? So it seems like Binance has actually been receiving a lot of cross-chain hacks. So they're able to implement this upgrade to be able to facilitate a much safer chain. But I think a lot of this news actually got covered up by what Ethereum recently went through with the Chapella upgrade. But I think BNB, as the second biggest layer one chain behind Ethereum, needs a little bit more respect on its name. And then last story we have is, so the tech executive, this story is actually pretty wild. So the tech executive arrested in the connection with Cash App creator Bob Lee's death. So before a week ago, I didn't even know who Bob Lee really was, but he is the creator of Cash App. And per news outlet Mission Local, the San Francisco Police Department arrested a suspected connected with Bob Lee's death, the creator of crypto platform Cash App. Authorities arrested tech executive Nima Momeni in an operation conducted in Emeryville. So according to the report, Lee allegedly knew Momeni, both tech executives in San Francisco. Lee was connected to a vehicle owned by Momeni during the morning of the attack. And it's crazy because, this how the saying goes, you keep your friends close and your enemies closer, and you would have never thought it would be somebody this close to somebody this big, a multi-billionaire, that made that happen. Yeah.
I think what makes that crazy is I think a lot of people, the way they released the news in the beginning was almost like it was random, like it was like potentially a homeless man who did this or someone who's just trying to mug. But the fact that they knew each other, the fact that it was an executive, makes it personal. So as sad as it still is, and I don't want to belittle the life of Bobby Lee. Anytime the life is lost, that is a serious thing. But San Francisco at least doesn't take the hard L for just being. This could have happened in literally any city, anywhere, because it does look like there was a personal vendetta that happened here. So very sad story still, but there's the update there. We're going to go ahead and transition into our Q&A now. So go ahead. I know we have 112 people still here. Go ahead and smash that like button. Thank you for sticking with us throughout this show. And before, Piper, go ahead and keep an eye on some chat and for questions, and we'll do some TA here in a second. But I did tease it a second ago. So anyone who is wondering, Tim, are you leaving Investing Bros? No, I am not. Here's what the news is. A lot of you guys know my business trip that I took earlier this week. I was visiting up at the HIT Network with the amazing people up there. So filling you guys in, what I was doing up there, I was just meeting the company, meeting people there, because it is looking like, and it is confirmed now, I'm going to become the brand manager of the BitBoy channel, the BitBoy brand. They're looking for somebody. They've been looking now for a couple of weeks for somebody to come in and manage what's happening with the social medias, what's happening with the YouTube channel, what's happening, everything to do with BitBoy crypto. Because while it is the largest brand of the HIT network, they didn't have one person just kind of focusing on making sure everything is done there. So they were looking for someone with experience in that realm, with experience in social media and crypto experience as well. So it was an amazing interview. I am so excited, guys, because not only does this mean that I'm going to be connected with the HIT network, officially working, that's my full-time job. I'm moving to Atlanta here in just 2 weeks, and this is only going to do bigger and better things for the Investing Bros community. It was an amazing conversation, just getting to work with amazing people up there that I'm very excited that Investing Bros, who knows exactly how close this will happen, because as it stands right now, it's not that Investing Bros will become a HIT network show, give or take, but the partnership that is going to be there is going to be amazing. So I want to first of all let you guys know how excited I am. It's like almost surreal still at this point, because this is the big leagues. I mean, we're talking the BitBoy brand, the biggest brand in all of crypto YouTube. And again, the most exciting part about it might be is that not only do I get to do that as a way to continue to support my family, I get to stay heavily involved in cryptocurrency, and the Investing Bros channel is going to do bigger and better things because of that. So that is the update. So just so you guys know, a couple of details with that. The next couple of weeks, I don't know when, I don't know how, but I probably will miss a show or two with all of the moving process. Like we said, this was a very quick thing. It was amazing to do it. Ben joked with me. He was like, "Hey, can you start tomorrow?" And I laughed, and he was like, "No, I'm being dead serious. We need you to come up tomorrow." So it's chaotic. We're moving up there. We agreed on May 1st is my first day up there. Those of you who watched us, you guys know my wife is going to have her our first child here at the end of May. So figuring all those details, getting midwives and everything set up there is a little bit of a process. But I can't tell you guys how excited I am about this opportunity. Excited I am for Investing Bros. And I've already announced this yesterday in the Discord with our Patreon group. Got a massive amount of support from you guys. Thank you to everyone. If you guys have any questions in this Q&A, I will do my best to answer as many of them as possible. But I did want to get out in front of it because I do think some people were concerned or worried that I was leaving the Investing Bros. It's the exact opposite. We are continuing to push and grow Investing Bros, and we're going to be doing that right alongside the BitBoy brand and HIT network. So massive, massive win for all of this community. With that said, though, questions on TA, questions about that. Just reading some of these comments. You guys are so awesome. Frank,
I just threw up your super chat there, right on your screen there, Tim.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I see that now. Yeah, Matt C says, "Congrats, Tim. Couldn't be happier for you and the entire Bros crew. You've worked so hard these past few years to get to this point. Can't wait to see what comes next. You're just getting started. Here's a little something for the packing supplies." Oh, thank you so much, Matt. That is definitely going to be used for packing supplies. It's great too. Like my wife, that's obviously a lot of people who I told at the beginning. They're like, how's Taylor doing about this? Taylor has been amazing through this whole process, being very supportive. Of course, there's anxiety when you get told, "Hey, we got to move in 2 weeks. Hey, you are 9 months pregnant and you're going to do all this with 9 months pregnant." It would have been a very reasonable, very understandable thing for my wife to say, "Tim, are we sure? Is this really okay?" But she has been a trooper through the whole thing. She's excited, and she's been a massive supporter. So I couldn't do it without her support as well. And so just give you guys an update on her. She's doing awesome. She loves this as well. Let's see. Mike Lowry says your show will blow up once promoted on BitBoy Crypto. Congratulations on the compliment. Absolutely, I think so too. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I really do feel like the investing bros. This is not a flash in the pan. This is a show. What we're doing here is going to go massive places. But more eyeballs, more community. There's already such an amazing crossover. Like in chat right now, if you guys are big fans of the BitLab Academy with Kelly Kellum, I know he's probably going live right now. If you guys are big fans of Frankie Candles, if you're big fans of the BitBoy Show, if you're a big fan of Around the Blockchain, let me know in chat, because again, that's what we're getting is more collaboration and community with them, and I'll be on that side, like helping make decisions in the Hit Network too. So it's going to be awesome. Crypto Meme says, I've watched you since your beginning. Good job, Tim. Thank you so much, man. Let's see here. Will there be a better entry point to buy ADA for the long-term bull run? Thank you. Yeah, Dan, this is Dan C714. I said this a little bit earlier. Share my screen here real quick, Piper. My expectation, just so you guys know, let me go ahead and take this down right here. My expectation for what I think Cardano is going to do if I were to draw out the price action, similar to what I've done kind of with Bitcoin. Let's grab my drawing tool. I think we're going to have a very fast run-up. I don't know what the catalyst is going to be over the next couple of weeks, but do not be surprised if we see Cardano shoot kind of more in a straight line up here towards 70 cents. Maybe it's a little higher, and then a pull back down, maybe only down to this level right here on 40 cents, maybe just a little bit lower. I'm not 100% certain. What I'm expecting over the next couple of months, like I said, I'm expecting a big run-ups on crypto, followed by on Bitcoin a 50% dip. Altcoins maybe a little bit more severe. Maybe Cardano dips more like down towards 30 cents. Maybe it has more of like, what would that dip look like? If we were to get up to 70 cents and come back down to 30, 50% would be 35 cents. That's quick math from 70 cents. But maybe we go closer towards 60%, maybe 57% down here back to the low we had here in March, back down towards 29 cents. I could easily see that happening. To me, just so you guys know, DCA-wise, I'm DCAing into a little bit right now, but I'm expecting these exact same price levels, maybe even a little lower, to come again later this year, because this is not the bull market. I told you guys that I'm very open to changing my mind when it comes to, is this a bull market or not? And just so you guys know, what I'm looking at is mostly this chart right here. You guys, I've been watching this chart with you guys for a while. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. We just broke significant resistance. And remember, I predicted, anyone who's looking at this is saying, oh, Bitcoin's losing dominance. I predicted we would come back down and retest this red line. Technically, we're a little bit below it, but I'm expecting this to take off. As long as Bitcoin dominance chart is going to the upside, we are not in a bull market. I fully expect this to climb, get up above 50%, and then it's going to start, it'll still keep climbing during that big dip. But then wait for later this year, 2023, early 2024, we're going to see this Bitcoin dominance chart start to fall back down, come back down to lower 40% levels. And that to me will be the sign that a bull market is on. Before that, I'm very bullish now, but I'm still very, I'm optimistic. Let's put it this way. Let's be positive on a positive Friday. I'm optimistic that great buying levels will be coming in the short future in the next couple of months. So let's see. Going back here.
I do want to point something out, because yesterday someone said, hey, when are we shorting the trades in our Chart Prime community? And Investing Bros member, but and I said, I don't plan on shorting right now. And because it could be a very short, right? It's like if we have a pullback, I'll take profit when I see that we're got a confirmed pullback, and I'll wait for another support to long again. Because the mentality, their people are locked in their bias of the market is going down. That's what they're locked in. This is the time that you have to understand that you may never see price levels that you just saw again, ever. This that may never ever happen again. Even if we have a pullback, you may have already missed the lowest point on a lot of assets. So always be looking at DCA, and when it comes to hodling, always look at your DCA strategy, because worst case scenario, you hold it for 6 months in the negative and then it goes up on the next bull run. But if you're getting into trades, I would be careful with shorting anything right now that is not just a quick scalp, because you can go down, but you can only you can go up, so you can get your stop loss hit, and or if you don't have a stop loss set, remember you can go up infinitely. There's only so far it's going to go down before fundamentally it's going to bounce. So it could be a very short pullback, guys. So be careful with the bias on that, and that applies to your hodling too. Just because you've seen 18 months of downside does not mean that we have a lot of downside still. There's probably very little downside, and if we do have anything, it is a retest that strengthens everything. So,
yeah, I think even going a little deeper into that question, I think you want to be hesitant with shorting. Go to my screen here real quick. Let's go back to 2019, and I want to show you guys kind of what I'm looking at, kind of continuing using this oscillator, this amazing chart prime oscillator. Let's look at what happened during this little pre-bull market rally back in 2019. I want you guys to kind of just look at areas where we got these flashes of overbought. We got these bearish divergences. Look at how many of them just failed to be good. 1, 2. We have several bear markets in there. Sorry, bear divergences in there. We had a peak seeker right here. We had more overbought. Technically, we had a little bit of a pause right there, and we kind of ranged. Remember, we talked about we ranged sideways for like 30 days, and then we finally, after so many false calls, we got a good call right here, overbought this called the peak, right? So I wouldn't have necessarily, in hindsight, shorted. I might have, because this was hitting golden pocket. So maybe you look at that, you say, oh, the significance of the golden pocket. Let me draw that for you guys. The significance of getting a reversal call plus having a significant retracement level of the golden pocket, maybe that's a very advantageous place to short. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I would not have done it with confidence. However, due to the fact that we get the overbought, the red triangle, the golden pocket, and then I saw a nice little 28%, a 30% pullback on that, that to me would have been the sign of, the bull trend has come, at least is slowing down, because look at all these false signals that they just got ignored. We finally played one out. And then my next place probably would have right here. Like, look at this one right here. We got a red triangle, a peak seeker, overbought, bearish divergence, perfect top point to short. So kind of, if we can do this in hindsight, you guys are asking, hey, where should you short this? What you're looking for is a confirmed sell order first to show you, a confirmed reversal signal to show you yep, we have changed away from a bull trend. We're getting back into a bear trend. And then the next signal, that's the one you want to play. Potentially, even that, it's one of those things. We only came back down a total of 50% during this entire dip. Right. So it might just be one that you want to take some profit and then just wait. You might not even short. You can just kind of sit on the sidelines and just wait for a good buying opportunity to come back in. And at this point, again, when you see coming back to former resistance and you start to get these bullish flashes like we did see, that to me is a good sign to then be entering back in. A common mistake, by the way, guys, I'm making a series right now on Chart Prime called The Biggest Mistakes That Traders Make. And one of the biggest mistakes that I'm going to be covering is wanting to just make too many trades. Sometimes there's that temptation to be like, oh, I can make so much money when I'm trading. Let me just look for any excuse to enter a trade. And it's like, no, that is not the way you should trade. The art of being patient and waiting for a good spot is a hard but very, very valuable discipline to have when it comes to trading. So when you're asking those questions, when should we short? I would kind of caution and be like, hey, let's start with when should we take profit? And then based off what we see in the market, in the news, that's when you start asking the question, when do I short? But guess what? During a bull market, bull trend, you do not ask the question, when do I short? Because that's almost impossible to answer. You're always asking the question, when do I long?
Correct.
Until we see a trend go back bearish, that's when you wait and say, okay, when do I short? So
it's funny you say that, Tim, because in the Discord, what I actually responded back to him was, remember, not having a position can be a position. So, yep.
I luckily, it's one of the things that I probably haven't had too bad of a problem with. Like I would say I am more of a cautious person. I sit on the sidelines more, but I've definitely been guilty of seasons in my life where I tried to push trades a little much. And I can tell you this right now, because I was surrounded with such amazing people throughout my journey of learning technical analysis, learning trading, I don't have the disaster stories that I've heard from the likes of my good friend like Kelly Kellum, who in one trade lost like $70,000. I don't have disaster stories of obliterating my thing, but it's because I was able to learn so much. But the periods of time where I was making the most mistakes and I wasn't being profitable with my trades were times where I was kind of like, oh, I let me look for anything to trade. Let me just look for any spot to short or to long, which I don't do a lot of shorting, but let me look for a good time to long. And it's like throughout the bear market, it's hard to long in a bear market. And
You short a bear market on rejection of resistance.
Exactly. So yeah, I would say here's the best thing. I mean, I was taught this as a child. Sometimes the best mistakes, sometimes the things that teach you the most are your own mistakes. But it's also really nice to learn from other people's mistakes and learn the lesson before you have to learn it as well. And so I encourage you guys, continue to surround yourself with great people. This is one of the reasons why we have that Discord over there. Yes, we do a lot of access with our Patreons. If you want to pay and get in the Patreon group, you get a lot more access behind the scenes to myself, to Crux, to Piper, to T-Shroom, to some other amazing people over there. But even the free version, just surrounding yourself with other traders who are going through the exact same stuff you're going through. They're having the exact same emotional swings. Having that group of people to surround yourself with and hear their stories and their mistakes and their wins and successes, that's just going to keep you from making as many mistakes as possible and teach you how to be a good trader, even though you don't have years and years and years of experience doing it just yet.
And that's what TA talks about, which we do every Wednesday. So
let's see here. Crypto Trade says the trend is your friend until it changes. Way to not rhyme there, Crypto Trade. The trend is your friend until it ends, but maybe that was the joke, the whole purpose of the joke. Yeah, Ninja Glock said Fed is leaning a 25 basis point hike rate in May currently. And yeah, I said that earlier, Ninja Glock. I actually see that as a bullish thing. The fact that we are leaning that way and still rallying means that the traders they're pricing in that rate hike and they don't care. So the only thing that can happen at this point is something happens that changes the mind of the Fed, that they say, you know what, we need to go ahead and pause or cut rates. And then how much more bullish is that? So can't stop it at this point.
Tim, something on that, like months ago, I was talking and I don't know where I was at. It may have been in a round table or something like that, but people were like, yeah, but the government's going to be doing this, the Fed this, the dollar that. And I said, look, there's going to come a point. And it's funny because it's relatable to what you just said about, I got to find a trade. I got to be in a trade. That mentality exists with investors too. I got to be invested in something. They can't just sit on cash. It is hard for them. And I said, a time is going to come, regardless of what is going on in the Fed Reserve, regardless what is going on with the economy, people are going to get tired of sitting on their cash. The time is going to come. And when they're just waiting to see who moves first, It's like the gazelle out in the safari, right? They're out in the plains. As soon as one moves, bam, they're all gone. And that's all people were doing for almost over a year, 18 months, just waiting, sitting on cash, waiting to see that first mover so that they can all move that direction. And that's exactly what happened. So I think just like you people feel like they got to be in a trade, I think a lot of investing is almost an addiction today. And so sitting on cash just was not going to last very long. I knew it wasn't. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. I think we're seeing people going, regardless of what is going on with the economy, I know that it's, at the end of the day, I got to be invested. The dollar's not going to do me well. The banks aren't going to do me well. I missed my treasury bond entry rates. Like, whatever, fine. I'm just going to sit here on my money until I see the first person buy, and then I'm buying too. And then here comes the other 100 people behind them. So I think that's what we're seeing right now.
You're absolutely right, because when you think about it, trading is like educated gambling. Like when you're gambling, it's just random chance a lot of times. You really don't have control. When it comes to trading, it can be a very addictive thing. But the good news is, again, not that I'm a fan of it, if you have an addiction problem, please seek help. That is not healthy for you, your family, or anyone else. But when you are doing and trading crypto, especially if you're good with the fundamentals of a project, you understand the news and everything surrounding the project, and you know how to do technical analysis. I kind of in the past have compared technical analysis is like walking into a casino knowing how to count cards and you're going to go play blackjack. The only difference is no one's going to kick you out for knowing how to do technical analysis. That is an advantage. So imagine you can play blackjack and count cards. That's like knowing technical analysis. We have a question here from, let's see here. Rick Wilson said, what are your thoughts regarding the market volume of this pump, Tim? Yeah, go to my screen here, Piper. So it doesn't look a lot. When you're on the daily chart, there's not necessarily a whole heck of a lot of volume going in here. This is why you got to kind of zoom in here and look at the specifics. Let's go all the way to the hour chart and let's kind of break this down. Let me draw this over. We've been in a sideways trading channel for so long, but what I love to see is look at this lull in volume on the hourly chart, and then look where it picks up. Look what is happening. It picks up through the breakthrough, which means, is there a massive amount of volume in Bitcoin right now? Not necessarily, but all the volume is working in the direction of the bulls. And when you see the momentum pick up like this, and we do see the bulls kind of taking charge, watch other people. I'm not saying there won't be dips whatsoever here and there, but like watch this be a little bit of a lull and watch them want to kind of get some people saying, I want to take profit, and then massive volume comes in to get this big pump. I can't promise you with 100% certainty that we are going to rally all the way to 50K, but we're matching a lot of things that we did see back in 2019, where the economic outlook right now is definitely playing out for it. I'm expecting, here's what we see happen quite often. We make calls on technical analysis just based off what we see on the charts, right? And then a couple of days later, a catalyst comes into play. Some news event drops, an article is said, and it makes the price do exactly what the TA called for. I'm not saying that every single news article out there is manipulated and controlled, because I guarantee you there are surprises to the market. But this is why I'm a big fan of Wyckoff's teaching and the composite man. He said, you got to imagine that you're trading against one individual who manipulates the market and posts news stories to get emotional reactions from people. You got to learn to think ahead of them. I don't know if they're watching the charts and then they're releasing news stories, but what I'm not going to be surprised at all is that right now it doesn't make sense from just a news perspective that Bitcoin will rally to 50,000. It doesn't make sense that Ethereum will rally to 3,000, 3,600. It doesn't make sense that Cardano will rally to 70 cents. But what's going to happen is those of us doing our technical analysis and see this and are calling for it are going to be vindicated when here in a couple of days, maybe a week or two, some big story breaks that no one was ready for that sends the markets to the upside. And then everyone will say, oh, nobody knew that was going to happen. That was news we didn't know was coming. Guess what? Sometimes news is just noise. The charts tell the story. The news simply are the excuses for why the price moves that way. But if you knew how to read technical analysis and you knew how to read the markets like this, even though you don't know what stories are going to come in and out, you're prepared for them, because that's just how the market works.
Yep.
You have a thought?
Yeah, I do. Rick Wilson said, "Do you think it's internal turnover or new money?" And they're related. So it's not a and or. They are related. So if Tim has $100, Crux has $100, and I have $100, all invested in PB and J coin, right? And it runs up. We get 50% gains, and we all have $150 now, and we sell and take profit, and it drops down, right? And it comes back to that level where it doesn't require someone else with $100 to be put new money in. Usually when we have that big run up, they feel like they missed out. And now they're afraid to buy in because it's going to turn down. So we're going to only sell off enough to bring it down to where it's 110. And we have now $40 each. That's 120 for us. But that's enough for that guy that missed out to come in also. And when he sees us put our 120 total back in, 40 each, that's internal liquidity being added back into the asset without any new people. Plus, it brings in the other person to add money to it, because now he's getting his second chance to buy on that pullback that he missed on the first run up. So I'm just telling you, internal turnover creates new money, because that's the FOMO that they missed out on previously. So internal money, when you see these markets move like this, that is smart money, taking their profit, adding more liquidity back in at the lower level, getting new money to come in. So all related.
Boom. Well, guys, it is 10:30. I want to thank each and every last one of you guys for staying with us this entire time. Thank you to everybody for your love and support. Once again, guys, the Investing Bros channel is just getting started. I'm so excited about the future of what we are building here, the team that is working behind the scenes. Watch this next bull market as Investing Bros takes off, and all of you guys will be the OGs of this channel. We love all of you guys so much. We will see you again on Monday. T-Shroom will be back. Thank you to Crux for filling in today while T-Shroom is at basic. Well, he's not basic. He's at training. But again, love you guys. We'll see you on Monday. You guys have a fantastic weekend.